In the process, we'll introduce some theories about creativity with exercises to help you access and apply your imagination in all kinds of situations, whether you're drawing or not. Let's start with one theory you might already know: free association as a form of creative problem solving. Instructions for automatic drawing tell you to first put yourself in a receptive frame of mind, drawing without thinking, and avoid conscious control over the image. As you can see watching these students work, you just start drawing without thinking and let the pencil line flow along with the ideas as they come up. But there is a difference between ordinary doodling and this process. It's implied in the words further play. That means taking your initial doodle as far as the emerging idea leads, then going further. Once images emerge, clarify them, elaborate on them, play with them, and take them any way you can imagine. In this lesson, we introduced two new angles on imagination, its role in expression and communication. Both involve transforming internal experiences, thoughts, feelings, sensations, etc., into forms that can be projected out into the world. But for this exercise, we'll give you a word, and then you'll have only 1 minute to draw what it brings up in you. There's no time to think about what you're going to do, but that's just the point. This exercise is about feeling, not thinking. Before drawing, let the feelings that you associate with each action come to the fore. Imagine yourself leaping, for example, and feel the leap. Then spontaneously draw what you are feeling. You've heard it before and probably even said it. Whenever someone thinks they can't draw, they say automatically, "I can't even draw a straight line without a ruler." Well, lots of very creative artists can't draw straight lines freehand either. Anyway, you won't be able to say that anymore because in this lesson and the ones to follow, you'll learn how to do just that and more. We'll warm up by practicing lines, circles, and ellipses, then use them to generate different design ideas. So far, you've developed some basic drawing skills and a few strategies to engage your imagination, but we haven't actually taught you how to draw objects. That begins here. Like architects and designers, we'll start with some quick sketches. Using a light, thin line, draw the front view flat and straight on as in an orthographic drawing. Then add the side and top views projecting off at oblique angles with the help of the protractor. As with the house you drew before, build the main structure first, but here it doesn't have to be built from a cube. It could start with a cylinder, cone, or sphere. Once you've got the big shapes, attach secondary ones, extensions out the side, etc. Also add holes for the birds to come in or out and perches for them to perch on. Shapes that combine other straight lines and curves. Draw some small, others large. Begin by placing a single point somewhere near but lower than the center of the page. This will be the vanishing point, the imaginary point in a perspective drawing to which all receding parallel lines appear to converge. Second, to erase the rest of the receding lines, which will give the impression that your three-dimensional forms are floating in the void. Once you've settled on your idea, sketch it out in a new drawing of a room with the appropriate viewpoint. Follow the same steps for constructing the room, but draw larger so you'll have more space to develop your ideas. Then add whatever furnishings you imagine. As with the room itself, first sketch these elements in lightly where you think they should go, but don't go into detail yet. When you're sure what's going where, use the ebony pencil to refine forms, darken lines, add details, and enhance line quality to make some forms stand out more than others. As you've learned in the previous lessons, perspective is a powerful tool of the imagination. In this lesson, you'll expand your two-point perspective drawing skills in designing a vehicle, or rather modifying an ordinary vehicle you might know, a steamroller, to make it extraordinary. Of course, your steamroller will need wheels and a roller, which means you'll need to practice ellipses again. After you get the pose and parts worked out, decide where you want the light source. Generally, it's easier to put in major light, dark, and middle tone areas after you build the major forms. Then, as you add details like facial features, apply similar values but on a smaller scale. In the side view of the head with normal measurements, take a moment or two to reflect on how your face can be altered into a caricature or monster by exaggerating the features and adding weird details. To begin, grid out the second face by carrying horizontal lines across the page from specific points on the newly modified profile head. Next, block in some roundish shapes, starting with the overall cranial mass. However, it will help you to think about the elements you add as being three-dimensional masses rather than flat shapes. Once the basic head and face are blocked out, imagine what your character might look like with light and shade to give it a sense of volume or mass. As you'll remember, we covered two ways to shade: modeling, where surfaces coming forward are lighter and receding surfaces get increasingly dark, and rendering, where you imagine a single light source shining on the object from a specific angle. Whatever techniques you use, don't be in a rush to finish. Take your time developing values on your drawing, working over the whole head rather than finishing one spot and going on to the next. Hopefully, the improvements from the first drawings to the last will give you confidence that you can, in fact, learn to draw. Even better, perhaps you got a taste of how much more there is to learn and are looking forward to continuing to draw on your own or in a class. In any case, we appreciate your participation in this research project.